Hi everyone. So I want to talk about the books I read in April. I read 7 books. I listened to 3 audiobooks and read 4 paperbacks. After a lot of heavy and intense reading of March, I wanted to keep April a little bit light and breezy. But all of them surprisingly seem to have a lot of depth also. Yesterday, when I was thinking about this, when I was just going through all the books, I found out that most of the books were, the themes were of vulnerability and somewhere a hint of grief. But the vulnerability and the raw honesty is something that came through in all the books. So let's get into it. So the audiobooks I listened to. Uh, so the first book I listened to is Booked for the Holidays by Liz Maverick. So it's a Christmas rom-com. I wanted to start off with something very fun. I did not have a lot of expectations. I thought it would be like a Hallmark thing, but it was quite nice. It had mystery, it had books, it has publishing, it has writing, all of it. Very cozy setup and a lot of baking involved in it. And like again, like two people meeting and whatever, but it was nicely set up, and also how everybody deals with grief very differently, and how there are like every day I'm astounded by the so many different ways in which grief manifests and also is dealt with. So that's what I thought was very interesting and very, it's a nice and cozy read. Then the second book I listened to was Good Material by Dolly Alderton. So I had heard a lot about this book and also about the author, but somehow, I don't know, I never got around to listening to it or reading it, but it is extremely good. I really, really liked it. I can't wait to read more from this author. And so, about the audiobook, I have to say a few things because it was read in a British accent. The whole story takes place in London, so it was read in a British accent, which was a little difficult to follow in the beginning because each sentence sounds like a question. It ends with an imaginary question mark. But I think that's the beauty of it. And so once you get used to it, even the pace of the story is quite slow. So you have to get the hang of it. But once you do, it is quite interesting. It's again very raw, very vulnerable, very honest. I felt like all insecurities, all the things, all the jealousy, or everything that people go through in relationships, post the relationship, post the breakup. So all of it is explained very beautifully, like everyday observations. It reminded me a little bit of Sally Rooney's writing also. Maybe that's why I liked it so much. But it's quite good, and there are like both POVs. There is no bias here. There is nothing, like nobody takes anybody's side, even as a reader or a writer. That's what I really thought was interesting. The third book I listened to uh, is so it's a play based on The Year of Magical Thinking by Joan Didion. So The Year of Magical Thinking is an amazing book. It's a very important book about mourning and healing and grief. So it's, I would say it's as important as Man's Search for Meaning. It's a classic, and it has so many profound insights into human suffering and grief and pain, and how everything can change in an instant. And this is like an excerpt from it, but it is expanded into a play. So it is read by the actor herself who played the role in the Broadway play. So it also has about it's like a snapshot of the whole thing, and again explains beautifully about grief, and how memories kind of creep in everywhere at least expected moments, and you don't know what to do with that. It reminded me of again this in Fleabag, when she says, like, I have all this love, I don't know where to put that love, I don't know where to keep that love. So it's a very beautiful book, but very, very profound also. Like somewhere, when I was listening to it, I actually felt hollow. Like, I had not felt that from a book in a long time. It felt like I was in pain. So a very, very nice book. So the paperbacks. Again, I started with a very fun, like an illustrated book. It's called The Little Book of Big Girl Things by Akshara Ashok. So it's also my Indian author book for this month. So it's a very it has a lot of these adorable comics, and a lot of it's like an advice book, but not really an advice thing, about how navigating through adulthood, and how there are like so many challenges that you had never imagined, or and you face it, like you deal with it every day. And then especially for a woman, especially for a girl, like what are the different challenges? It's quite nice. I mean, there's nothing profound or very deep about it, but it's a good read. And the I found the comics to be very adorable, so I'd give it probably a 3 on 5. Okay. The second book I read is this 7 Year Slip by Ashley Poston. So this was also on my list. I think it was in some recommended list also. So I wanted to read it, and but my only hesitation was I really don't get time travel. All right. So the whole concept, the like the whole fallacy of it, like they talk about it in Big Bang also when they're talking about the sense, because if you go back in time and change something, then you change the whole timeline. So the present you are in wouldn't be the same present if something changed in the past. So I get trapped up in it. It doesn't work for me. I get very lost in it. But I liked the lake house a bit, mainly because Sandy B was in it. But anyway, so this gives lake house vibes. But again, it is so well written. I was just astounded by the writing. The way she tells the story, there is a lot of monologue. Okay, but even then you will never get bored. And it's also about it touches upon again this healing and grief, because it takes place in an apartment where both the characters have some connection to, mainly the female protagonist. And it's about giving people the grace and kindness to grow and change, because we like somebody in one point of time and we expect them to be stuck in that point of time, which never happens, because we never remain the same as well, because we evolve with time, we change, we hopefully we grow for the better, but we do change. So it talks about giving the people that space and grace to grow and change, and accepting that change as well, whichever way it goes. So I did not expect this to be again this profound, but it's a very nice read if you can get past the whole time travel thing or this. So the next book I read is this very very nice book, 84 Charing Cross Road. I bought this in Daunt Books in London. So it is such a nice book. It is so basically it has a bunch of letters that this woman wrote from 1940s to 1960s to this bookstore in London. She is in New York. So they sent her books and these communications. It is so good. It is so has that old worldly charm and a very very offbeat sense of humor. And then the second part of the book is when she actually goes to London. So it is so good. Like I you have to read this. It is very very nice. And some of the things I really liked also. So some I have bookmarked. So it says tourists go to England with preconceived notions, so they always find exactly what they go looking for. And so this is the bookmark also from Daunt Books. So very very nice book, very endearing. Please read it. So the last book I read is this checklist manifesto by Atul Gawande. Even this was on my list for a long time. This was my non-fiction book for the month. But it was so interesting. Never felt like non-fiction, but I also like non-fiction. But so he's a surgeon basically, and he talks about the importance of checklists. But like I did not expect that. I was just I thought by the end of it, probably a checklist is an answer to all our problems. Like everything can be solved by a checklist. And he gives such nice evidence, and even the like how I really liked the statistical analysis part of it also, because nobody has explained it so easily and so practically, like so relevantly. It's not just numbers or data or whatever, like how it actually translates into practice, into real life. So that was very very beautifully explained, and there are a lot of anecdotes and cases basically. So that's what I think interested me the most about a lot of these surgeries and surgeons. And so basically it's about the importance of checklist, and how it like then it has the various aspects of it, how it should be simple, it should not take much time, and how it can like change the power distribution also, and how teamwork is so important, communication is so important, all of. So these are the books that I read in April. It was a good month. It was a very good month, and for May also I have lined up a lot of very different genre of books, which again have been on my list for some time. Now that I read a lot of paperbacks, I'm having Kindle craving again. So I'll probably download a few. So I'll probably read a few ebooks on my Kindle also. So yeah, let's see how May goes.